design around the river and new projects coming through the river. You can see a mix of the flood projects and a mix of private development. If you look on the trail on the bottom lower end, there also is a trail that goes all the way around the project. It'll be 8 miles when it's done. That particular stretch of trail was supposed to cut back through that street and not go around the outside of that building. Again, I mentioned we have partners and actually a very exciting developer who said, you know, that's going to ruin the whole thing if that trail just kind of veers off and goes down a back street and comes back. So he worked with his engineers, and we were able to come up with a better design. And we went to the Corps of Engineers and costed it out, and we were able to save a little money and get the change order in to do it right. So we always were trying to find partners that were willing to help us to get there. And this is what it looks like at night in the winter. I mean, as you can see, the river doesn't go right up to the wall. It's a tidal wetland. I mean, it's a tidal river, so sometimes it looks like that. Cool. We've got the Oxbow area. You see the hotels that are coming in here. One of the things we did from a city standpoint, when a hotel comes in, they have a front and a back. And their back that faces the river has to be as nice as their front. And because it's going to be on this 8-mile public trail, it also has to have an amenity. As somebody's walking through the trail, they're able to leave the trail and go in and either go to a coffee bar, have a drink to eat, sit by a fireplace. So we want our new development to work with our project. We've had exciting things happen. We have a plaza behind the creek. We bought a parcel of land across from the Oxbow that's now a preserve. And we have an art walk, and we don't want to lose our focus on the river, so the whole focus on our art walk is about the river. And we like that big fish. That's called Fish On. Upcoming projects, and we're in the middle of it. As you can see down at the below, Ritz-Carlton site, we have a Ritz-Carlton that's coming to town. I got a phone message yesterday saying the developer wants to meet with me on Monday. When I stick that shovel in the ground, I'm going to be the happiest mayor you've ever seen when we get that one going. We're in the middle of the railroad relocation. I mentioned that we've got this bypass, and in order to create the bypass, we have to elevate the railroad tracks, and so that's the project that we're in right now. The funding for that project came from stimulus funding. We were applied and received $99 million in stimulus funding because our project was ready. It was green. It was creating jobs. It was creating recreation. It was doing everything they were looking for. So we're pleased to have that happening. The bypass, the yellow part, and we're going to talk more about that. Remember, I said that's the key to really protecting us. It's also going to be an amazing opportunity for us. Right now, we're doing this relocation. It means if I was doing this for people in town, I'd have a map and a thing that said First Street will be closed for these 3 months, and then this one will open, and this one will close, and this one will open, and this one will close. It's been a challenge doing this much construction, but the community has really rallied around it and wants it to happen. So we've done well. We're working on a creek project right now. It's 32 weeks to complete, months, yeah, weeks, I wished, to complete. And again, it's got culverts and bypass, and it kind of lets you, we've been talking about different methodologies, and these structures are going to be removed for terracing. This just lets you know in the middle of the town how complicated it is to be working. These are all the different stages that they have to go through in order to get this creek work done. The other side of it. And this summer we're going to connect some of the area that's left over from the flood construction, and we're going to create a riverfront green park. Now you can really get to see the bypass design, and we're 35% in design right now, and this picture will show you what it looks like when it was flooding and the idea behind the bypass. This is another view that will give you an idea how the bypass, it will go under. We've actually reconstructed a main street through town called Soskell, and this bypass will go under Soskell. So right now I kind of have a bridge that I don't need a bridge for, but it's going to work. Yeah, I went too fast. I'm going back. So this is the bypass channel as came forward in a 35% design. We also have, as we came together to try and figure out how we were going to do this project, we got a lot of technical people together locally. And we have a TAP committee, a technical advisory panel, and whenever the Corps has the next step in a design, we come to that panel and say, how does this work? How does this meet the promises we made to the community? So they came through with this design, and it has a river landing, which we think is going to be amazing to get some small boats on the river. It has a town green, which we like the green turfed area. This area that you see is a dissipator, and we'd never knew we needed a dissipator, but as they did some hydrology, they said you're going to need some way to slow the water as it goes through the bypass. And my engineer left me engineering language if any of you need it. I can read it to you, but it was basically we needed to slow the water. And here's the overpass that's going to be dug out 20 feet, and that, again, will be part of the bypass. And on the other end, there will be a nature area and a trail. So the trail system will go through the whole thing. We're really excited because it's going to connect two parts of our community together. So here it is. Here's the dissipator. TAC said, oh, we're not sure we like it, and it's taken up a lot of the green space in the park. Is there some other way to do it? And this was the design as it came to us with the dissipator. And they were also going to take McKinstry, which was straight, and put a little curve in it. And I'll go through this. I went too fast. Okay. And put it in this one. So this is the design. We went back and we said, give us another look, give us another design. And they said, okay, we can keep McKinstry straight, we can move the dissipator structure, which in the first example was like 7 steps down, across 7 steps up, 70 feet wide. Now using the natural terrain, it can go 4 or 5 steps down, and the rest of it can use the natural slope. So I just use that as an example of how we as a community have continued to stay involved with our project so that we can, have it meet our needs for the long run. We just found out when I go back, we're going to be a FEMA case study to document the economic benefits of the flood protection program in Napa. And so when we're done with that, we'll be able to really show technically where the job growth and economic development projects are. And I wouldn't be a mayor if I didn't leave with something to entice you to come. So in some of those lovely developments you've seen on the waterfront, one of our newest restaurants is called Marimoto's. Marimoto is of Iron Chef fame. And he has one location on the West Coast, and he picked Napa, California. So you can have dinner there and look at the river at the same time. Fish Story is also a new restaurant that's opened within the last year, and it's got a whole replica of our flood project inside, so you can go there and see it. So I thank you for letting me tell the story. We're welcome for visitors. I love to do tours. And I hope you come and see it because it's much better in person. So thank you.